after sleeping on it, just your thoughts again on the win last night and taking the Hoosiers back to the College Cup.
Yeah, it wasn't a long sleep. I felt like it's hard to sleep after any game, let alone a big quarterfinal. So we're getting back collected, and yeah, we're just really happy. I mean, it's strange because usually you're heading off to a College Cup, and there's so much going on with just logistics and travel. It's really nice to wake up and already be where you are and know that we're just going to be changing fields. And we're playing. It still feels like a College Cup, and not having to move this morning was quite nice. I'll be honest with you. Being in a few of these over the years as a player and a coach, so everyone's special. This is obviously number 21 for us. We're very proud of that. But it's number 1 for this group, and that's we're focused on, is letting this this team have its opportunity to leave the ultimate mark.
Great, thank you, Coach. We'll start with Jeremy Price.
Hey, Todd, you just touched on it there, what I was going to ask you about a little bit, but just sort of maybe what are some of the pros and cons of this format, and the fact that you normally would have kind of a week of logistics and planning and travel and all that kind of stuff, and instead you've got just a few days and you're right back at it. Yeah,
it's as we've talked about, Jeremy, it's such an interesting year with so many things that are kind of different and new, and even if you've never been to a College Cup, just the logistics to get ready for one are really challenging. And it's great to be here. It's great that we have finals behind us. I said that last week. We had a really stressful first few games with guys managing a lot. And now that finals are over and we're here, there's so many things that usually you're heading into finals week, right at the end of College Cup and in December. So a lot of things that we're really excited that we don't have to necessarily manage, and focusing on the experience of being here. And we want them to enjoy every bit of it and have fun. And that's that balance of enjoying this moment and keeping really locked in on what we need to do. So I've enjoyed less of the logistics, to be honest with you.
We'll go to Jared Kelly.
Hey, Todd. Looking more specifically at Friday, obviously it helps that you guys played Pitt in 2019, whereas a lot of these NCAA tournament teams you might have never seen before. Do you think that gives you a little bit of an edge? I guess it goes both ways, but just in terms of preparation.
Well, I think they do have some familiar faces with their team in 19, and what a great game that was. Kind of a tale of two halves. They came out really sharp and got a couple on us, and what a great comeback win for that group. And as we know how young we're still young, still really young, but in 19, we had one returning starter at that point of the season. So there was so many new faces. So it does help. We definitely know the style of play that they like to play. And, we play against a few teams that have a similar style. I thought, Michigan this year has a very close resemblance to what we'll face on Friday with their movements and some of their interchanges. And then, they have a very much an Akron look at times as well. And we've played against them in the tournament and had success. So you have a lot of respect for Jay Vidovich. Many of you may not know, he was at IU for a short time as a player. So he's got some IU love in there somewhere. He's got a lot of respect for our program, and my father in particular. He always asks how he's doing, and we really appreciate that. And, Jay's done an unbelievable job rebooting Pitt and branding them into, the team that they're 13 goals in the tournament and been number 1 or 2 most all the year. They're an absolute contender as they're showing. So we're gonna have to be really good on Friday.
Jim Coyle, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, how are you doing?
Good. Hi, Jim.
Getting used to have this discussion with you. You mentioned the 21st time going to the College Cup, 43%. The numbers are just too ridiculous to even talk about, to be honest with you, but we have to. But you have all these different teams, but yet they continue to produce comfort, confident, controlled, consistent play at the highest level. I don't know how you guys are doing it, but you're back here again, and you have to take a team into the finals, and it's a different team each year. How do you approach this team, and what do they need to do to bring home that 9th national championship that you've been seeking?
Well, I think there is every team is a little unique, different. Obviously, we've had, recent Final Four appearances, as you know, and this team's very different than the 17-18 team. And the makeup, where the strengths are of this team, the experience level, the age. I mean, 18 was your really mature team that came so close and had everything there and just came up short in that 17-18. But man, that was a powerful team that overwhelmed teams. This team has not been a team that's overwhelmed our opponent. We don't kid ourselves and feel that's the way we're going to go out. We can play really good soccer, and certainly this team's very capable, but it's very built well up the center of the field. We have guys that can change the game in the wings. We have an outstanding goalkeeper, a strong spine, and a goal scorer. And those ingredients have proved very important to us in many of our title runs. And the roles are very defined at this point, Jim. And I think that's so important that the guys know where they are. They know if their 15 minutes comes they're loving it and they go out and do it. The guys that are coming in to spell, they know what they need to do. They're not trying to do more than they need to. And there's a great grit about this group that's developed over the course of the season. And that's what's been cool about it. It's not like it was day one. They built into it. And I think the belief in some of the games that were tight and maybe we didn't play as well and we found a way to come back, or we played really well and we've won in so many different ways. I think that's a really important thing for a team at this point. If you've been dominant all season and you come up with a bad run of play, it could potentially rattle you. We've had a couple bad runs. We've also been dominant in big games against good teams. I mean, look at the Penn State's first half. I mean, we were pretty much in full control. And I think Penn State was a Final Four level team. So that, I think, is all the stuff you need in your mind and your experience level. And they're just excited. This is a group that hasn't, a couple of guys that have been here, but we have a lot of new faces that haven't had an experience of a college cup. And we have a lot of sophomores playing, as you know. And so that I'm excited for them to have this experience.
Perfect. I got one in the question in the chat. So we'll go to Tom here next, and then we'll go to Jeremy. Go ahead, Tom.
Just to make sure I'm right, College Cup #1 for Indiana happened when you were just a kid. You've been to all 21, right?
Yes, I have.
And just to follow up, quickly on that.
Making me feel older, Tom, when we say that. I'd like to say that I was too young to go to one, but I guess
I told you before. I remember kicking a ball around with you when you were 4 years old. So I'm the old one. But you have mentioned often about how the time in North Carolina has been helpful for the bonding in between and such as well. Does it have sort of an added benefit that you're just sort of like rolling into the next game, as opposed to maybe feeling the more pressure of it being the quote unquote College Cup? Did you feel that with everybody?
I think there is something for that, Tom, in this particular case, especially with this team. Because they haven't, a lot of them haven't been. We have a couple of players that have been to a College Cup. So just the anxiety of getting on the plane and going and all the fanfare, they're already here. So they've already kind of felt some of that excitement of the College Cup, even though it technically wasn't until now. I think that helps us. I think it helps all the teams, quite honestly. And then, secondly, the comfort of adapting to the weather. I mean, we haven't played above 60 until we got here. So we're getting used to the Carolina temps, and we've also just adjusted to the different surfaces, even though it is a Bermuda blend, still a little different than our field. And so all those acclimation moments are already happening. So I do feel that's going to help all the teams here, not just us, but I feel good about that piece, the training rhythm, where we are. The guys have seen the location. Obviously, they haven't been in the stadium yet. They're going to love that. It's a really cool stadium. I think this is a wonderful venue for the College Cup. I'm just happy to be in one as a coach and participant, because I've been to a lot of these just maybe up short as a coach or a player. So I'm excited to be inside there.
Jeremy, go ahead.
Yeah. not only are you familiar with Pitt from 2019, but you've kind of got an insider with Nick. Do you get an extra scouting report from him, and maybe how's he sort of reacted to this matchup?
We haven't really talked about it much, actually, Jeremy. I mean, typically, the psyche of a team, we try to focus on everything that's obviously controllable. And anytime you have a player that was on a different team or transferred in, I think for us with Nick, it's just enjoy where you are now. And obviously he has some insight on some of their players, which of course we would be talking to them about. But the fact that we played them in 19, I think helps that. Yeah, Nick has a lot of friends on Pitt, and he's obviously well loved on our team. So he's just a great young man, and we just want him to go out and enjoy it, and obviously not overthink the opponent. And I think he'll do great. I think once the whistle blows and it's go time, it's just another team that he's playing against, and that's what our focus will be on.
All right, we've got time for one last one. We'll wrap it up with Jared Kelly. Go ahead, Jared.
Just curious if your dad's planning on making the trip down, and if the rest of the players, if their families will be in North Carolina.
I'm not sure about my father yet. He likes to watch in his comfort areas a lot, so I'm not sure if he'll make it. I'm talking about it with him. In our family, they told me to get to the College Cup, and they'll come over. So talk about some pressure, I guess, to get to there. But yeah, there's a lot going on, Jared. everyone. This is usually you go to the College Cup and you're there for 3 days, hopefully. This one, it's to commit to a long time in Carolina was tough for everyone, our administration, our families. So it's been really nice just to have kind of the team in our little mini bubble. And it's, as we mentioned on the front end of the call, they've spent a lot of time together, but individually together in apartments. To have the whole team together, bantering, playing cards, having great laughs, playing songs I've never heard. I'm learning a lot of new songs. It's just been really fun. It's been fun for everyone. So it's been a great trip. I want to keep this thing going as long as we can.